In this video, we're going to go over number 12 and number 24 from the second review sheet. So I've got another one that's multiplying with radicals that have negatives. So the first thing I'm going to do is, instead of having these negative radicals, rewrite it as I times the positive version of the radical. So instead of root negative 5, it's I root 5. Instead of root negative 8, it's I root 8. Okay, so I could simplify the root 8. I can't simplify the root 5. So I think what I'm going to do, this is all multiplication. There's no addition, subtraction. I'm going to multiply the coefficients. Get negative 6. I times I is I squared. Root 8 times 5 is 40. Great. So negative 6 times I squared is the same thing as negative 6 times negative 1. So really I have a positive 6 on the outside. Root 40, the largest perfect square that goes into that, is 4 with 10 left over. So this is 6 times root 4, which is 2, times root 10. So my final answer is positive 12 root 10. So just a reminder that these negatives became this I times I, which became I squared, which became negative 1, which turned this negative times a negative into a positive. So if you're having trouble with the signs. Okay, next problem. So what's important here to realize is, even though it looks like a binomial times a binomial, the operation in between is addition. So it's addition. So you can rewrite it as just 6 plus 2i plus 4 plus 3i. It's not distribution. I don't need to do 6 times 4, 6 times 3i, 2i times 4. That would be if there was no symbol in between and it implied multiplication. So I can do 6 plus 4 and get 10, and then 2i plus 3i and get 5i. Making sure I write it in the standard form for complex numbers, which is the real part plus the imaginary part, or minus the imaginary part. So that's all the requests I got so far. Ooh, I think another one just came in. Let me pause and look. So I got a request for what I think is number 36 on this review. Let's hope. So that's negative 1 plus 3i times 2 plus 4i. So this time it is multiplication. Notice how there's no addition sign. So that's telling me I need to distribute. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Negative 1 times 4i is negative 4i. 3i times 2 is 6i. And 3i times 4i is 12i squared. And we now know to never leave an I squared in our answer, that's just a negative 1. So I have been noticing some of you guys you got used to the steps. I'm going to combine negative 4i and 6i to get 2i. And you won't even write plus 12 times negative 1. You'll just write minus 12. So these two came together to give me the 2i. And this is really negative 1. So 12 times negative 1 is negative 12. Combine these together to get negative 14 plus 2i. Okay, and that's going to be a wrap on the second sheet, unless I get a comment in the next 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7. Who cares? All right, bye.